The issue that we're dealing today is of enormous importance. And what it really comes down to is whether, as a nation, as the most powerful nation on earth, we are going to listen to the science.
Global warming. In recent years, it has become one of the most contentious and disputed topics amongst Americans and people around the globe. In recent years, there have been many manifestations that display the harmful effects that a warming planet can have on the natural environment, and the impact it could have in the future could be devastating. Global warming is a serious issue that needs to be addressed by the Trump administration and Congress. Since we have greatly contributed to global warming, it is also up to us to come up with solutions to resolve this problem. One of the greatest contributors to climate change is carbon dioxide or CO2 emissions. There are various ways in which this harmful gas is released into the atmosphere. The two most common ways are through transportation vehicles such as airplanes, cars, and buses. The other, and the most common, is through the burning of fossil fuels, predominantly for the production of electricity. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, in recent years, the United States has been responsible for about 16% of all global CO2 emissions due to fossil fuel combustion. In addition, the Union of Concerned Scientists also states that for approximately every kilowatt of electricity that is used, approximately 1.6 pounds of CO2 is released in the atmosphere, and for each gallon of gasoline that is consumed, about 20 pounds of CO2 is released. When carbon dioxide is released into the air, some of it adds to the greenhouse effect in the Earth's atmosphere. Because there is more gas being released, the concentration of this gas found in the atmosphere has increased, thus causing a stronger greenhouse effect, which as a result warms the planet. Other than transportation vehicles and the burning of fossil fuels, an increase in carbon dioxide has also come as a result of deforestation. According to climateandweather.net, when deforestation occurs, there is an increase in CO2 emissions released. When the cut down trees are burned, all of the CO2 they contain is released in the atmosphere. In addition, when trees are cut down, they lose their ability to absorb carbon dioxide, which also leads to an increase in the amount of gas that is released. It is imperative that measures are put in place by the Trump administration and Congress to cut CO2 emissions in coming years and to ensure the safety and preservation of our forests. Not only is the preservation of our forests and air important, but the preservation of our oceans are important as well.
One of the greatest concerns that climate change has brought up is the catastrophic effect it could have on our oceans and on our marine life. Even though the ocean temperature is only raised about 0.18 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.1 degrees Celsius, according to National Geographic, it has already made a vast impact on marine life and the water levels of our oceans. Coral reefs around the globe are becoming bleached. When coral becomes bleached, it slows their growth and in some cases can even cause them to die. Consequences of coral bleaching are significant. A decrease in coral reefs can drive out a large amount of different species, which many local communities rely on as a source of revenue and as a source of food. Changing climate can also greatly affect our water levels. As the climate continues to get warmer, the water in the ocean expands, causing the water levels around the world to rise. The water level has also been rising due to the rapid melting of ice and glaciers. The impact of a rising water level has the potential to be catastrophic to many coastal cities around the world. According to National Geographic, over the last 100 years, the sea level has risen almost 7 inches, and over the next 100 years, has the potential to rise as much as 23 inches, which can cause major flooding to coastal areas. Not only is global warming affecting our oceans, it's also affecting the severity of natural disasters and storms.
Global warming has the potential to increase the severity of natural disasters. As the Earth continues to warm, there is more water vapor that is entering the air, which not only causes an increase in humidity, but it also fuels storms and other natural disasters such as wildfires. As a result of hotter weather, fire season has lengthened and the fuel for fires has increased as more and more brush and plant life is dying. We have already seen many very strong storms not only in the United States but around the world in recent years. If these storms continue to grow larger and stronger and more powerful, then the damages that they cause could be devastating to many communities and countries.
Being in a drought for the last few years, California has felt some of the consequences of global warming. Some cities, such as San Diego, have felt the effects even more than others. According to an article written by newsdeeply.com, the demand for water in San Diego is predicted to rise by 46% by the year 2035 due to a large increase in population. Moreover, in the future, San Diego could have fewer rainy days and less water runoff. According to the same article by newsdeeply.com, San Diego will experience less days of rain, and when a big storm hits, there's a greater chance of flooding.
One of the most common arguments used by climate change deniers is the argument that the Earth naturally goes through warming and cooling periods. Although this may be true to some extent, we are accelerating the rate at which the Earth warms. Contrary to some belief, there will still be seasons if there is global warming. The winter will still be cold and there will still be snow on the ground. That doesn't mean that our planet isn't changing. The long-term effects are the main concern because we have not yet felt the full effects that a warming planet can have. A large majority of scientists believe that man-made climate change is real, and the facts we stated earlier in this video prove that.
Planet's warming. 99% of scientists have said it's warming, and we've got the Republican chairman of the Senate Energy and Environment Committee carrying a snowball into the Senate chambers to show that there's still snow and that climate change isn't happening.
Another argument that is commonly used is that the United States is not enough to stop climate change. However, the United States is one of the most influential and powerful nations in the world. If we change, that can inspire others to change as well.
We have virtually an entire political party that is rejecting basic science. And the science is no longer in doubt. Some 97% of scientists who have written in peer-reviewed journals say the following: climate change is real, it is significantly caused by human activity, it is already causing devastating problems in our country throughout the world.
According to biologicaldiversity.org, it is estimated that over the next 100 years, a quarter of all plant and animal species will become extinct. After all, we do release large amounts of chemicals into the air that's harmful to many aspects of nature. Since we are playing a part in creating global warming, it is also up to us to create a solution.